What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it is time to talk about, finally, a couple more episodes of Young Justice, starting with episode 9, Darkest. This episode had a little bit of everything. I mean, we had action, just out in the desert with Impulse and Blue Beetle. We had crazy shit at the end with the cave exploding, which is obviously the big fucking highlight of the episode. Not in a good way, of course. Then you had like little character moments, like the black dude whose name I don't know, and the black chick whose name I don't know, kind of trying to, or at least the black dude is trying to sort of rekindle what they had when they were in high school, but she's matured and she's working at this lab. So you get a little bit of character interaction there. You get some character interaction between Impulse and Blue Beetle, but mostly that's action. Then you get the big bomb dropped, and then you have some really nice drama at the end with Wally talking to Nightwing. And yeah, it was just a really, really well-rounded episode with a lot going on. So if I forgot anything, I do apologize. But so the basic plot of this episode is Aqualad and a bunch of villains, because Aqualad, even after killing Artemis, has not proven himself worthy to enter the light, so he has to do one more task. So him and a bunch of villains team up, including Artemis in disguise, and they have to go fuck up the cave. They fight with Impulse and Blue Beetle, they take the tracking device acts as a Trojan horse, turns off the security, we have a fight scene in the cave, which is pretty cool, and then the cave fucking explodes, like I said, and that's a crazy ending. Now, it's not mind-blowing, because we saw that in the future, 40 years from now, or whatever the time frame was, the whole cave is destroyed, like the whole Mount Justice. But to see it destroyed this early is kind of interesting, and it's kind of cool that Impulse saw it get destroyed, because he's from the future, he knows that the thing is destroyed. So I wonder what he was thinking when he saw that happen. Like, he was thinking, like, did I not fix anything? Did I not change anything? So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how things play out from his perspective, if they go into his perspective on that. But, I mean, it might just be a little tidbit that he had that reaction, but his reaction was pretty serious, though, of course, I think anybody would have a pretty serious reaction if Superboy and Nightwing almost possibly died. Of course, they were able to escape because the black dude showed up and helped get him out of there, but, yeah, the cave going up, everything just being destroyed. Wally's reaction at the end that was just classic, great, just, I was going to say filmmaking, but that was just great animation. Him coming in, and he's just like, what happened? It better have been worth it. Like, everything he said, the acting was on point. That whole conversation with Nightwing, it was perfection. Every single part of it was perfection. That was really good. The only thing that's a little iffy for me is like the whole triple agent thing, because I don't think he's a triple agent. I think they're kind of dangling that carrot to make you think, maybe, but I'm not buying it. I'm not thinking he's going to be a triple agent in the end, but he does get accepted by the light by the end of the episode, so that was interesting. We get to see all of them lined up. We've seen them before, but, it's cool that we're finally just not seeing them in the weird, white, glowing bullshit. Now we're just actually seeing them. And it'll be interesting to see where everything goes. Like I said, we got a tiny glimpse of the Light's partner. This one alien person was kind of looking at Lagoon Boy and all these other people who were in the weird pod things. But yeah, it was a really good episode, honestly. Like I said, it had a little bit of everything. It had a tiny bit of character interaction with the black dude and his girlfriend. It had some character interaction with Blue Beetle and Impulse. Impulse making the giant rock formation. That was really cool. And the fight scenes were pretty cool, too. And Impulse is really growing on me as a character. I mean, I already liked him, but he is quickly becoming one of my favorites, especially the voice. The voice is just perfect for some reason. I don't know why. It's a really familiar voice. I've heard it before. But, yeah, the voice really fits the character, I think, and yeah, he's becoming one of my favorites. And, yeah, Kid Flash might be my favorite character, which is so weird, because at first I was like, he's kind of the cliche wisecracker, I was like, he used to be one of my least favorites, and now he might be one of my favorites. Also, I want to know what happened, because there's no way he's this salty on the superhero stuff, because he just decided to retire. Like, he is a very serious dude now. Like, something must have happened, because, like, he's taking this stuff very seriously, and yeah, I just want to know if, like, maybe it was what happened with Aqualad, though if Aqualad is a double agent, then I don't know why he'd be salty about that. I think something else must have happened, but we'll just have to wait and see if they go into that. But he's very serious. He's very pissed off about Artemis being involved with all of this again, so yeah, I'm very curious what caused that change in him. And it was cool to see some of the real, like, side characters. Like, how did they even join, first of all? Okay, I get the one chick because she can, like, shrink herself, but, like, how did the other dude become a Young Justice member? Like, they still have to answer some questions about stuff like that, but, it's still cool to see those characters get some focus. And I'm kind of all over the place talking about this episode, but the episode was pretty all over the place as well, just going from thing to thing to thing, and then the fucking explosion at the end. It was a jam-packed episode. It's a hard one to talk about, but yeah, I'd probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a great episode of Young Justice. It's huge story progression. Like, even though it's not that mind-blowing that the fucking whole place exploded, because we knew it was going to get destroyed at some point, it was cool to see that it happened this early. It was cool to see that Aqualad is this dedicated to the act and making it look good and everything. And yeah, it was a good way to end it. It's massive story progression, and so just wait and see what happens. Are they going to have to chill at the Watchtower? Are they going to have to chill at the Hall of Justice? Who knows, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So with all that being said, let's move on to episode 10. Okay, so episode 10, Before the Dawn. I just realized that the last episode was called Darkest, and this episode is called Before the Dawn, so two-parter, kind of. I mean, this one does follow up from the last episode, but I don't think it was like a two-parter. I think it's just because the series has really good continuity. But anyways, this was a pretty interesting episode. We finally get to see a little bit more of the Reach, which are the people who are not the people. I guess they are people, kind of, but the aliens who invaded, and they want to find the metagene and extract it so they can weaponize it and give it to other people. So they're fucking with, Beast Boy, they're fucking with Impulse, they're fucking with Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's interesting, though, because we get the introduction of Black Beetle, I guess, which was very surprising. I did not expect this dude to come out of the shadows and be a beetle. You know what I mean? I didn't expect him to be like our Blue Beetle. So we get a little bit of story there. We find out huge progression here. Or not really huge story progression, but a huge story reveals. We find out that Impulse came back in order to prevent Blue Beetle from becoming the big bad. And that's interesting. Like, how powerful is that armor that he could actually, like, take over the world or be a part of what takes over the world? Because, well, I mean, I guess Black Beetle was a pretty... he's pretty badass. He was taking out, like, everybody, like Wonder Girl and Superboy and all of them. So, I mean, maybe the armor really is that overpowered. Maybe Blue Beetle does have that potential, because we always see that when he's in a fight, the armor always says, hey, there's an easy way you could just take these guys out. And he's like, no, I can't, because it'll take down the good guys too. So, potentially the armor does, the facts are there. The armor has said it could take these fuckers out. But, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't expect the armor to be that strong, but it does make sense. Other than that, though, well, I guess also part of that whole, like, time thing, he actually tells Blue Beetle this. Like, Impulse tells him, and that's interesting because, he wants to... At first, he was trying to keep everything on the down low. He was doing everything a certain way so that he didn't reveal anything major. But he just straight up told him. And now it all makes sense why he's been trying to be friends with Blue Beetle and get close to Blue Beetle and everything, which kind of makes it seem fake, but I think they have some maybe genuine friendship. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Impulse definitely way smarter than he lets on, which is really cool. And, yeah, other than that, there's just a lot of action against the Black Beetle dude. Like I said, we got some story progression with the whole Reach thing, them at the end trying to be all buddy-buddy. It really... This did it first, but it really reminded me of Daredevil Season 1, where, I guess, spoilers for Daredevil Season 1, but if you haven't watched Daredevil Season 1, I mean, come on, really? When Wilson Fisk goes public, like, right before they're about to just expose him, he goes public, and he's like, I'm gonna help save Hell's Kitchen, and blah, blah, blah. This reminded me of that, except this did it first, so... I don't know, did Marvel rip off DC? I don't know, tinfoil hat? Nah, fuck that. But, joking aside... It was kind of cool to see them, like, reveal themselves and just say, yeah, we're here to help. He made, like, a Reach pun and shit like that. It was an interesting way to finish off the episode. And then we see they all have a bunch of, like, badass ships. And, yeah, it's set up more to come. It was a good, like, because this is episode 10. There's 20 episodes in the season. So it's a good mid-season, like, finale. I mean, I doubt that's what it was. But it was a good way to... move things along, because we had the reveal we got the reveal of the Blue Beetle thing in the future. That's huge for the plot. We got the Miss Martian Aquaman scene, which I haven't even talked about yet, but that revealed pretty much everything to Miss Martian. So now she knows all of this double agent bullshit. She's probably going to confront Nightwing about it. And Aqualad, I don't know if he didn't start drooling or nothing. I don't know if he's full-blown vegetable. I doubt it. I think she stopped soon enough to where she didn't completely fuck his mind up. But she did take him out temporarily, and she's pretty shaken up about it. But yeah, it was a good way to like finish off the middle of the season going into the second half, I think. So yeah, it was a really, really good episode. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You know, the action was good, animation was of course great, as always. Music was good. I love with Superboy, because as soon as he starts throwing motherfuckers around inside that armor, I was like, oh, that's fucking Superboy. He disguised himself. He pulled the Stormtrooper trick from Star Wars, and yeah, that was really cool. It's too bad he gets his ass kicked by Black Beetle, but pretty much everybody got their ass kicked by him. He's definitely a huge threat. Blue Beetle, you know, he held his own. They even had like a little Kamehameha Gallic Gun clash, reminded me of Dragon Ball. Especially since Blue Beetle's was blue and his was like a pinkish purple. Very much reminded me of the Gallic Gun Kamehameha clash from Dragon Ball. But anyways, references aside, it was a really, really good episode. The scene with Miss Martian and Aqualad was huge for the overall story. The scene with Impulse and Blue Beetle was huge for the overall story, especially Blue Beetle knowing all of this stuff now. And now he's a much bigger character overall than he was before. He's way more important to the story. Like, them getting him out of the enemy's hands, it's very important for the future. So yeah, it's just interesting. And yeah, not really much else to say, honestly. I'm trying to think of stuff, but no, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just a great episode of the series that really, it sets up things to come. It's a great way to finish off like the middle of the season moving forward. So with all that being said, I'll probably give this one a solid 8 point, I was going to say 7 for some reason, 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great to amazing episode of Young Justice. It was just fantastic. So, with all that being said, what did you guys think of these episodes of Young Justice? You can tell me in the comments section below. You can also follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. I want to thank you guys. Oh man, I had to sneeze. I'll thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.